Hey everybody, it's Alan, and I hope you are doing well. So this week I've chosen to focus on a playlist that I've kind of been ignoring a bit on the channel here. It's our first and last playlist where we play the first track and the last track from a particular album. We want to sense if there's a through line throughout the entire album, maybe a message. Is it a concept album, possibly? Or is it just a great collection of songs, or maybe not a great collection of songs? Typically, when an artist is forming a record, they're going to choose the first song on the record to be one that really hits home and captures the audience and sucks them in to want to listen to the entire rest of the song. However, the last track is generally either one that might be a throwaway, get ignored, or maybe it's an epic. It's an epic that won't reach radio airplay, but it's a longer piece that the band can stretch on. And I think today is a perfect example of that. We're going to do the Iron Maiden album Powerslave. We're going to start with the song Aces High, and then we're going to follow that up with the last track on the album, which of course is Rime of the Ancient Mariner. So I have absolutely no reason to go to the city of Cleveland except if I wanted to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I kind of refuse to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because a band like Iron Maiden is not inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yet. The utter disrespect that the organizers of that organization, the people in charge, whether it be the people from Rolling Stone or other entities that are part of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, ignore constantly on a regular basis hard rock, progressive rock, and metal. They just don't want to induct these people. They don't want to induct the likes of Iron Maiden. It took them forever to induct Rush. Boston still is not in there. And yet Donna Summer is. LL Cool J is. All these other pop artists are. And it's like they ignore the name on the front of the frickin' building. And it makes me go, it's illegitimate. It just makes me think it's illegitimate. The fact that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Grammy Awards basically put all of the hard rock and metal categories into one, in a hard rock and heavy metal category. And they don't actually give you a prog rock category. They don't give you a separate hard rock category from a metal category. I mean, it's just mind-boggling to me that a group like Iron Maiden is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I don't know if they've ever even won a Grammy. I don't know, but it's just absurd. And I'm sorry I went on this tangent. Here is Rime of the Ancient Mariner.
once 50 living men, and I heard no sigh nor groan. With heavy thump, a lifeless lump, they dropped down one by one.
Now, I listen to a masterpiece like Powerslave. I listen to the song like Rime of the Ancient Mariner, and I think to myself, how on earth is Nico McBrain not mentioned amongst the pantheon of legendary hard rock, heavy metal, and prog rock drummers? Let that sit in for a second there. You know, people will talk about Dave Lombardo. People will talk about Greg Bissonette. People will talk about the likes of the Peace Brothers, Carmine and Vinny Appice. They'll mention other great rock drummers like Tommy Aldrich. They'll obviously talk about the legend that is Neil Peart, and they will completely, in general, overlook Nico McBrain. And the amount of greatness shown on an album like this, a song like that, the last track, even Aces High. I mean, everything, you know, Iron Maiden has done with him has just had this steady, perfect, incredibly articulate drumming that gets overshadowed by the galloping bass lines of Steve Harris and, you know, the amazing guitar work of you know, Dave Murray and oh my God, his name is Adrian Smith. And then, of course, Bruce Dickinson's voice is just perfect. It's amazing. And yet Nico's drumming gets completely overshadowed by all of these other majestic musicians. And it just blows my mind if I actually allow myself a moment to stop and think about it. Just like the rant I went on between the two songs about the shit show that is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I just, again, this is what I'm thinking of as I'm recording this, is like Nico McBrain is just a badass drummer. He always has been. And I cannot understand why he is kind of the forgotten member, if that's possible. I don't know. I mean, drummers obviously know him. But if you were to ask a drummer off the top of their head, you know, who are the top 5 hard rock, heavy metal drummers that you can think of? You know, would they think of Mike Portnoy before they think of Nico McBrain? Would they think of, again, don't hate me for this, but would they think of Lars Ulrich instead of Nico McBrain first? You know, I mean, again, how does he slip through the cracks in that way? I mean, I guess I can understand it. I mean, I can think of as a guitar player, I can think of several guitar players that I would consider amongst the greatest guitar players of all time. And yet the likes of Rolling Stone forgets to list somebody like Lester Paul as one of the great guitarists of all time amongst their top 50. They'll put Jack White on there. They'll put St. Vincent on there, but they won't put, you know, Lester Paul. They won't put, or Les Paul. They won't put, Chet Atkins didn't make that list. And my brain is going, what are you talking about? Chet Atkins and Les Paul aren't among the 50 greatest guitar players of all time, but you've got Jack White there. And you've got the Edge from U2 there. And anyway, I don't want to get off topic here. I'll be curious to find out what you think of listening to Aces High into Rime of the Ancient Mariner and the first track and the last track off of the Powerslave album. Is it kind of cool listening to those two back to back as opposed to listening to everything? You know, do we do something right here? Are we noticing a through line? I'm curious to find out what you think. So feel free to leave a comment. We can talk about it further. Just know that I appreciate all of you and I wish you well.